What is up, guys? I do hope you're well. My name is Mark and today we're covering some more r/am I the butthole. If you'd like to skip the initial waffle, timestamps are in the description and along the timeline below, but if you are new here, please consider hitting that like, hitting that subscribe and maybe that notification bell too, as it all really helps out our channel. Yesterday we had two new members, one over on Patreon, who we had Casey Quinn, thank you so much, and also Trainless Evie over on YouTube. Thank you so much for your support, you guys. It really does mean the world to me, and for everyone to take the time out of your days to turn up here and support the channel in whatever way you can by watching, liking, sharing, all that good stuff. I can't thank you enough for what you do. Thank you. And with that being said, let's get in to today's stories. Much love, guys. And our first story comes from Am I the Arsehole Sister? Am I the arsehole for not taking my pregnant homophobic sister in? My sister, 20 female, and I, 27 female, don't get along. I'm gay, and when she was 14, she started being horrible to me, calling me slurs and saying I was going to burn in hell and other typical religious homophobic things. She's the golden child, so obviously my parents sided with her. She would make me cry and they would tell me to deal with it and expected me to still be nice to her. After a while, I cut them all out of my life. Best decision ever. 3 years ago, I married the love of my life. My parents were invited but they didn't show. No doubt because of my sister. Still hurt. My wife Elle and I are both very lucky to have amazing jobs and a big house. About a week ago, my parents and sister showed up to my house. No idea how they know I live there and wanted to talk to me. Turns out my sister's pregnant and they essentially want me to let her move in for free and pay for everything for her and the baby. There was no apology for anything. I was in shock and my sister was going off about how we have so much space and could afford to help her out. I said no. I told them we couldn't take her in because we currently have Elle's two little half sisters staying with us because their mum is very high risk, so we don't have any more space. They were pissed and were going off about how I was supposed to help my family and that I was choosing Elle's family over my own. I told them they were not my family. I told them everything they had done and said to me, and they said I needed to let it go and move on. I asked them to leave. Even if we had space, I wouldn't want her here. Since then, I've gotten so many messages from them and other family members saying I need to help them and take her in. I reminded them of what she has been like to me, and they said I need to be the bigger person, and this will bring us together. Thing is, my parents are going to have to take money out of their own retirement fund if I don't help. They were good parents growing up when my sister started her BS and I was already out of the house. So people have said that I would really be helping them, not my sister. Elle said we could give her some money, but I don't want to do that either. Am I the arsehole? Edited because I forgot to add that I don't feel for her at all. I just feel bad about my parents. And there is a small update after this post, so we're, again, as we always do, we'll read that one after the comments so we can get our sort of initial judgments going, you know. And straight away, OP was defending her parents ever so slightly in this, and I don't see why, because the parents were just as bad as the sister for enabling her to carry on doing this and not stopping her. And again, they didn't come to your wedding, they didn't show you support for someone who you love, and they don't apologise when they turn up to your door. It just sounds all to me like it's one-sided relationship. They're trying to use you just basically for the sister, so I can't say you're the arsehole in this situation. You cut them out initially, and to me, that's where it seems they should stay. But that is just my opinion. Let's have a look at some of the comments below to see what they say. MadMac0412 says, and quotes, saying I was going to burn in hell. Sis, if you need a place to stay, why not ask your husband's family? Oh, you're not married. You had premarital sex? I guess we'll see each other in hell then. Not the arsehole. Congrats on the wedding. Your Reddit fam is there with you in spirit. The Lights Blind Me says, not the arsehole. They didn't stop your sister's harassment. They didn't come to your wedding and they didn't apologise. Just showed up demanding you take your sister in, then support both her and the baby. My God, the audacity. They don't care about you. They just want to use you. Those people aren't your family. I would say no and never speak to them again. Salantinu, hopefully I've got this name right, says, not the arsehole, so they hate your orientation, but they love your big house. Cut every contact with them. Riri Treetop says, not the arsehole. Lol, it's funny how now they need you. It's all about you letting go and forgiving, not them apologising profusely. Oh no. You just have to forgive and forget without any semblance of remorse from them. If you're going to burn in hell anyway, at least according to them, might as well make there be a good reason for it. Don't take her in and don't help your parents unless they acknowledge the damage they did and apologise profusely. And also, none of this, you have to pay for everything thing. She can get a job, pregnant or not, and your parents can certainly chip in. And now we go to the update. Update, thank you for all of the kind words. We're not taking her in, but might give my parents some money in the future if we see they are struggling. Also, my sister is 7 months pregnant and just recently told my parents because she can't hide it anymore. So they're desperate because there's no time to save up now. My mum just sent me my sister's baby registry and I can't believe her. She's living off my parents and doesn't have a job, but is asking people to get her a $300 car seat and $700 stroller. Now, I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this story? Let me know in the comments below and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 1. And our next story is called, Am I the arsehole for being mad at my family faking an emergency? So for some background, my sister 19 female and I 21 female are both moved out from our parents' home. We both don't live alone however, she lives close to my parents while I am 3 hours away. To start, the first part happened last week. I was playing games with our friends, not realising my sister was trying to call me for a while, and of course my family trying to contact my phone for about an hour before my sister gave me a heads up to let family know I am okay via Discord. I was stunned how I missed this many notifications, because my phone is loud, and after resolving things with the family and a talking to, I saw that my phone was put on Do Not Disturb. I'd forgotten to turn it off after a nap. Still, I acknowledged I messed up and worried everyone, and now hyper aware of my notifications. Here's where we get to the Am I the arsehole? Tonight again I'm playing games with my friends, and I get a call from my father asking if I had talked to my sister lately. We don't talk, so I was like, other than group chat, no. He then asked if I can call her. I rang her twice with no answers, soon messaging my dad with what is going on. He tells me he got a message from her saying help and now isn't contacting anyone. I freaked the hell out. I dropped all my gaming friends and let my boyfriend know to keep them updated. Then I started messaging several of her close friends if they had contacted her lately. After about 30 minutes of this, my dad calls again and we talked about what we're going to do as he isn't at work nor at the apartment. Then a pause as I was about to suggest calling the police. My father said, she's standing right next to me. What? Yeah, she's standing right here. Doesn't feel good to be left in the dark, right? I was rather pissed and emotional, so I basically sobbed on the phone, thankful she was safe, but so utterly mad. I managed to ask why, and their reason was to teach me a lesson from my fuck up, and to mess with me. This felt so malicious and hurt me, so I said, I know I screwed up, but mine was on accident, yours was just being an arse. My father then said that no, I was an arsehole and I was being too sensitive to the joke, that I deserved it for worrying them last week. He was mad, I was mad at him. So, am I the arsehole? I felt like the two situations are really different. I accepted I messed up the first situation, but this one I felt was justified because it had intent to hurt/scare me. I feel like I am just overreacting and at a loss. Edit, wow, I didn't expect this to kinda explode like it did. I do plan to update when I get a chance, but I'm currently working on sorting my thoughts and figuring out having a phone call with my dad, stating my feelings and putting up some much needed boundaries. Some information, since been seeing it in the comments. My family is funding this last year of college for me. Due to the pandemic, I couldn't work my internship long enough to fund it, so I'm on a loan status with my parents to pay after I get stable workflow, etc. The situation is really at a norm when it comes to me and my father's relationship. We're normally super close, and though he was strict and did get angry easy within an hour or two of cooling down, we make up and relate to each other easily. Weirdest of all, I go to him a lot when I get in fights with my mother. That in of itself could be a several Reddit threads alone, and would defend me from her. So honestly, I'm stumped why he would do this. It makes me so uneasy and unable to trust him to have best intentions for me. I know some have gotten frustrated when I use the line, messed up. I mostly used it at first due to the fact I am not really good at telling if I truly hurt someone or not. I'm not that great with social cues and wasn't sure if I'd truly done something wrong with my phone being off situation or not. Anyway guys, thank you for all the comments helping me and the PMs wishing me luck and giving me advice. Trust me, if I can read all of this I would. For now, I'm taking the advice in mind and even plan to use some in my talk with my family. Thank you, truly. I'm all for sort of pranks and stuff, but this just wasn't a prank to me. It was just a cruel thing to do, you know. You said you made a mistake, which I don't think is a mistake anyway. You're an adult. You don't have to answer your phone if you really don't want to. And maybe I'm wrong in saying that, but sometimes I don't answer my phone. If I look at it, I think, nah, fuck that. Especially if I'm just chilling out and want some time to myself, you know. Adult life is hard work. Sometimes you just need some time to chill. And I might be totally wrong in saying that, you know, because emergencies do happen and stuff. But I totally understand where OP is coming from in this situation. What they did was just cruel and messed up, and there was no need for it. But let's have a look at the comments from Alert Potato. Not the arsehole. Your family freaks out if you don't answer your phone for a few hours. What the fuck? You're a grown-ass adult who is allowed to have a life and ignore your phone whenever you want, and for whatever reason you want. The fact that they did this because for one afternoon you were not immediately available to them without notice is pretty fucking toxic. I think you should let them know that you're going to stop being available to them, and then do so. Let them know you'll only check your messages and voicemails once or twice a week. When that will be, then follow through. Set their individual ringtones to silent so you don't get notifications, or if absolutely necessary, set them on a schedule and block them at all other times. But damn, they pulled a really insane level of arseholery over nothing. Dogs Reading Books says, not the arsehole, you're 21. You're allowed to not answer your phone immediately. What your family did was manipulative and mean. I'd go low contact with them, to be honest. Awesome Kingdom Gabe says, not the arsehole. For the record, you did not mess up the first time. You moved out. And if you did not want to talk to them, you don't have to. Now onto the story you described. It sounds like manipulation. Your dad doesn't like you out of his reach, so he tried to scare you into it. That's not healthy or good. You're living away from them. You have the right to be independent from them. And now I turn this one to you guys. What do you guys think of this situation? How would you deal with it? Would you go no contact? Would you just answer the phone every time they phoned? Be available to them? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 2. Now this next story, I saw the title and I thought, we gotta read that one. This next story is from Successful Peace 292. Am I the arsehole for eating sexy potatoes? It honestly feels ridiculous that I have to post this, but my coworker has been getting onto me about this for weeks now, so I have to ask. My whole life, I've been eating potatoes by microwaving them, then biting into them, eating them hot dog style. This is the easiest, most convenient and intuitive way for me to eat potatoes. Sweet potatoes or regular. I think this is how people in Japan eat them, or at least this is how I was taught to by my Japanese parents to eat them. Whenever I go to a grocery store, I always pick out one of the most easily biteable potatoes, which are generally longer and thinner than most potatoes. So I work in an office of about 30 people. We all typically bring our own lunch, and I usually just eat at my desk while doing work. No one has ever commented how I eat potatoes, but I do eat them quite frequently. Recently, a new person was hired, and she clearly has a problem with the way I eat potatoes. A couple of times, she pulled me aside and asked me that I just eat potatoes a more normal way. I asked her what she meant, and she said I was eating potatoes too suggestively. I was a little shocked because I literally just have my eyes glued to my screen whenever I'm eating and barely pay attention to how I eat. I told her no one else seemed to have a problem with the way I eat potatoes, but she insisted others were just too polite to say anything. I asked a few other co-workers who were all just as confused as me about what she was saying. I figured no one else really had a problem with it, but this happened multiple times. She kept coming to me and asking me to tone down the way I eat, even accusing me of going out my way to choose sexy potatoes. I considered bringing them other ways, but this is just the easiest way for me to eat them. And they're honestly delicious like this to me. I asked her to maybe just not watch me eat, but apparently that's just not feasible. Unfortunately, she reported me, and now I have to have a meeting with HR next week. This seems really dumb to me, but am I the arsehole for eating sexy potatoes? Edit. Thank you for the gold, and thank you to everyone who gave me tips on how to approach HR. I will update after the meeting. Edit 2, please stop asking me for videos of me eating potatoes. It's creepy and weird, and also be extremely boring and the least sexy thing you'll ever watch. Just the word sexy potatoes. Why is that so funny to me? I would love to be in that HR meeting just to watch the HR person's face saying, can you stop eating your potatoes so sexily? What the hell, man? I mean, unless OP, which OP said they wasn't, they're just looking at their screen, unless OP was literally sucking off this potato and making eye contact, I don't see what the problem is. You're doing nothing wrong, you're just eating a goddamn potato. And in the past, I've picked up a potato like an apple, like cooked obviously, I'm not a heathen, and eat it like that as well. I'll just eat it, bite out of it like an apple. And this other person doesn't have to watch you eat. What is their issue? They're just staring at you eating. I'd report them just for that. But hey, let's have a look at the comments below. Sporeberry says, not the arsehole, but please tell me this is a joke because it's freaking hilarious. OP replies, wish it were a joke. I honestly thought it was the first time she asked me about it. And then Moa replies to OP saying, when you meet with HR, be sure to express how uncomfortable your colleague made you feel by her sexualizing your eating habits because it's really her behavior that needs to be checked. Why am I wasting my time, says Not the Arsehole, and it's probably worth turning it around and complain that your coworker is making you uncomfortable by making sexual comments about you eating your lunch. Nyack says, please take bananas and popsicles to work and report back. I can't imagine that HR will take this seriously once they hear your explanation. I bet she exaggerated the hell out of what you were doing. But I'd point out to them that you now feel uncomfortable to learn that someone is watching you so closely while you work on a daily basis. Not the arsehole. Internet's Points Woot says, Not the arsehole, I honestly can't picture a suggestive way to eat a potato. Your coworker has issues. Now, what do you guys think of this story? Oh, I love that one. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 3. And do any of you guys have any weird eating habits? Not that I'm saying this one's weird, but hey. And our next story comes from JSL. Am I the arse for breaking a workplace tradition that's been going on since before I was even born? I started working at an office at the beginning of this year. Once a month, the company has a $100 donut day. At the beginning of the month, they select someone to spend $100 on assorted donuts from Dunkin' for the entire building to enjoy. They've been doing this since the company was made, but originally the owner bought the donuts for his employees. I was picked this month. I don't like donuts at all, and I don't have the money to throw $100 around for something like donuts. I get paid a shitty amount per hour, and $100 is more than I make in an entire day's work. I have a family to feed and bills to pay. When I was selected, I told my boss I couldn't afford throwing money at snack foods right now. I mean, let's be honest, I never eat donuts from other people anyway, so it's not like I owe anyone back, though I didn't tell him that. Boss kept trying to convince me, but I kept saying I couldn't. He eventually said, fine, be that way, it'll be sorted, and told me to get out of his office. Donut day comes around on the 15th, and there were no donuts. All my co-workers were, and still are, pissed at me, and my boss made a point to blame me / bring it up every day since then. I've repeatedly tried explaining my situation, but nobody seems to care. Apparently it's my duty as an employee to be a team player and make sacrifices for my co-workers. A lot of my co-workers are either ignoring me or making negative comments about me. Boss made a cryptic comment about my upcoming paycheck, so I told him if he takes money out of my paycheck or lowers my pay rate, I'm suing. Other co-workers heard this and are saying I'm the one being a jerk here and to just back down and suffer through it. Am I actually the arsehole here? Only thing I can think of is the fact that I threatened to sue my boss, or that I didn't warn my co-workers first, only my boss. Added context, the cryptic comment was about him taking money out of my paycheck for donuts and / or docking my pay for a while for not being a team player. All other employees get paid over twice the amount I do, so it's reasonable and easy for them to afford the donuts compared to me. I'm only part-time, and that's all they let me work. This week I was scheduled only 12 hours. I would have made at most $11 after tax this week if I bought the donuts. I'm currently looking for a new job. I do not ever eat food from other people at work. I always bring my own food. Yes, a $100 donut day is where you buy 10 dozen donuts from Dunkin' Donuts at $9.99 per dozen. What the hell, man? That's absolutely bullshit. So, if the company doesn't pay for it anymore, they can't expect their employees to shell out $100 for frickin' donut month. That's ridiculous. And in the end, it's not the employee that looks good for buying all these donuts, it's the company, because it's their tradition. So they're feeding off their own employees for this shitty tradition to make their own company look good because they got this donut day that they do all the time. And I bet they tell like new employees, we have a $100 donut day, and I bet they don't tell their new employees that they have to pay for it. Wow. And then for him to make it like almost a suggestion that he's going to dock your pay or take money away from you, hell no, I would have told him I'm suing as well. They can't do that, cheeky bastard. Now let's have a look at the comments below to see what they say. Nut Michelle says, not the arsehole. Expecting someone to spend $100 on donuts without asking if they want to volunteer to do so is asinine. Thaumo says, not the arsehole, that's not a tradition, that's robbery, and quotes a section about the cryptic comment saying, that's so massively illegal and your co-workers are the jerks here. They are creating a hostile work environment. Nebsy Websy says, not the arsehole, you told him you can't afford it. If he tries to dock your pay, you should stick up for yourself. Have you thought of finding a new job? Disco Duck says, not the arsehole, this is an insane practice right up there with a job I had in the 80s that made every female employee stand in line and kiss the boss before he would give you your bonus check. The fuck? This practice died with the death of the bonus. There is absolutely no reason you should buy anyone snacks whether you enjoy them or not. We're in a pandemic and over half America at least is suffering hardship. How bizarrely inappropriate for a person representing a business to shame and threaten you to spend a penny on a workplace activity against your will. That sounds like it must violate some workplace laws. You did the right thing regardless of your like of donuts, and if you suffer repercussions beyond what you've already had to suffer, I think you have a case on your hands. This is beyond wrong. I'm sorry you've had this wacko experience. You're not the arsehole. They are living in a different reality altogether. Having to kiss your boss as well to get a bonus check. What the fuck, man? And Loudant2 says, not the arsehole. This seems like a slam dunk case for a lawsuit. Hostile workplace? Check. Possible retaliation for refusing to spend your own money for the company's benefit? Check. I mean, if he does anything, including bogus write-ups, lowering pay rate, misplacing things, it's a case of retaliation. Honestly though, you should start looking for another job. This is an arsehole place to work. Now, what do you guys think of this issue? Another strange one, wow. Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to vote on that poll in the description for story 4. Once again guys, thank you for being here today. I hope you did enjoy today's stories, and if you did, you know what to do. Hit that like, that subscribe, and maybe, just maybe that notification bell too. Always a pleasure to have you around, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care guys, much love to you. Goodbye.